Welcome back to another episode of That's Business. Today's guest, Brandi Gunn O'Leary, is the owner of Charmed Makeup, Lashes, and Tarot in Rochester Hills, Michigan, where she offers eyelash services, makeup applications, and intuitively guided tarot readings. With over a decade in the beauty industry and a lifetime of interest in all things mysticism and magic, she is now combining her passions to show people the beauty in all of life's phases. Brandi, I am so pumped to have you on this podcast. This will be so much fun. But for those of you listening, Brandi might be one of the guests on here that I've known for quite some time. We went to elementary school together, so
we go way back, just little babies.
Back to the Catholic schoolgirl days. Oh, yeah. Woo. Oh, that's a whole other podcast, but
that is a whole other podcast.
It is. Maybe it'll be like an after dark podcast or something like that.
But yeah, we should have like an after dark round table.
We should. Yes.
Rally the troops.
Rally the troops up. Talk about our, what is it, Catholic guilt and trauma.
That might be a whole actual series. We may need a separate podcast altogether.
I love it. But Brandi and I also kind of, I was thinking about this today too. I'm like, how we reconnected, because you went to school in Toronto and we're a year different. So graduate different years. But yeah. I knew what you were like growing up and all. But let's throw it back. What was Holy Family and growing up like, and how you got to college and all the fun stuff?
Wow. I feel
it's a loaded question.
It is, because I also feel like I'm one of those people who, even though I'm 30, I have like lived a lot of lives. We've done a lot of things. We've been around.
Yes.
I would say like little young age, I was very much like head in the clouds. I feel like when they were asking kids, like, what do you want to be? It was, like firefighter, doctor, movie star, that time of stuff. And I was like, I'm going to like be magic in the woods, because like that's the books I'm reading. And like, that's what I can do, because that's a career. And people were like, no. And I was like, but what if we could? Like, people had to explain Hogwarts wasn't real many times.
Well, now it is. Go to Universal. It's there. So
I know. I haven't even been. So I know. Don't look at me like that. And people, don't come for me. I'm sorry. Don't cancel me in the first 3 minutes of this podcast.
How have you never been? We have to pause on your story, but
I know it's humid and hot.
Oh, I agree. But if you go, like, when did I go? I went January, best time.
Okay.
One day was like 75, but it was doable. There's lots of shaded areas around there. Yeah, you got to go in the winter.
Okay, I believe you. All right.
Oh my gosh. Well, you have to do that. I still can't believe you haven't been there. Go ahead.
Yes, Hogwarts wasn't real. So yeah, then I like shifted gears and I was like, well, I guess I'll pick what the other kids are picking. Marine biologist, that type of stuff. I was very like smart girl when I was young, until the ADHD hit. That's when we went off the rails fully.
Do you remember like what age that kind of hit or anything?
Middle school, for sure. I know 8th grade is when it was like, they were like, are you going to be okay? And I was like, I don't know.
It's just a roller coaster.
Like, what's
here.
Homework? When is it due? What day is it? Who am I? Like, too much. So I was like, let me choose something else. And then when I graduated high school, I went to art school for a year. I went to CCS. I like had a scholarship. I did that whole thing. But like, I'm also not cut out for that. I have a very soft, thin skin. And that's why I think I can't do art professionally. And my other career choice was a chef. And we've all seen The Bear now.
Yes.
You can't be shy, soft girl in a kitchen. And I'm also a picky eater. So all those things had to go.
I didn't know the chef part of you. I knew the art school. I didn't know the chef part.
Yeah. One of my aunts, she was like a baker and a chef. And like several birthdays, she like got me a cookbook and then would come over and teach me how to cook out of it. Like,
amazing.
I'm like the Shrek onion, man. Look, many layers. This is a very millennial episode also.
And if you don't get these references, go to the next one, because these are great.
We're too young to be here.
Right, exactly. So we decided, thick skin for sure in food and beverage. But where did going to Toronto come in?
After art school, I was like, I want to do something creative. That's kind of when like special effects makeup and like that whole thing was coming out. So I was like, okay, I'll go to hair school. get my license, do hair and makeup, and then I'll go to Hollywood. Also, kind of at this time was right before the whole like Michigan film tax situation happened. So like there was a lot of stuff being filmed here. So for me, I was like, okay, cool. I'll do hair and makeup. I can still live here. Because like I'm not a big city girl. I'm just not.
Me either. I agree.
Not for me. So yeah, I was like, I'll do that. It'll be cool. Did not get any makeup education at hair school. I did get my license after because I was like, I did not sit there for thousands of hours.
And dollars, yes.
And that, also that, but really excruciating.
Yeah.
So much laundry folding.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Oh
yeah.
No.
Very strange times. I'm like, I would rather do a perm right now than fold another towel.
As you can see, my laundry pile, that my couch is just for laundry pile.
That's what's on the other side of this laptop right now. Mm-hmm. I can't look behind.
Yeah, I can't see it over there either. So we're good. Out of sight, out of mind. It's not there.
That's it. Yeah. So then I moved to Toronto. They had a makeup school there. I know there's like a couple makeup schools in Michigan now. That was not super the case back in, what is it now? 2013, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think it was probably like 12, 13. So I went and did that for a year. I had like lived downtown just like by myself as a 20-year-old girl.
Amazing.
I was like, it'll be fine. And then I came back here. I worked for MAC for a while, worked for Sephora. And that's kind of when like lashes entered the chat. I really liked the way that when I gave people the mirror at the end of their makeup appointment, they were just like, I feel good and I can like kick ass right now.
Yes.
And I also knew that like haunting moment that like they would have to go home at the end of the night and wash that off and then be like, well, that was fun for a couple hours. And that's when I thought lashes would like, you know, it's a longer service. You get to like wear them for a good amount of time. So I was like, what if you got to feel that like power every single day?
So true.
That's kind of how we got there.
So I don't know. I like remember like lashes weren't a thing and then they were a thing.
Yeah.
And then you were like so innovative with the magnetic lashes. Because I remember when I came to you and I would wear them out and people were like, do these actually work? Like, are these actually a thing? And I was like, oh my gosh, let me tell you. So walk us through what you did, education and training and all the craziness you had to do, especially for like the magnetic end and then all the craziness you do all the time now.
Yeah. Where do we even begin with that? There's been so much different innovation with lashes in general.
Right.
I think that magnetic stuff happened with COVID. That's when at least the company that I used to work for, or not work for, but I like represented them for a little bit. She like created this during the pandemic. She was like, I don't know how I can service clients. Like, yes, like regular magnetic lashes where you would like, they were already ready made, you know, pop them on. Those were existing already, but the custom ones where we actually build your lashes on it, that had not been done before. So I was kind of like, honestly, a little late on that. I know it was like early for over here, but like East Coast, West Coast, they were like, no, we've been doing this like since lockdown.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, like that would have been cool. I was like, I was selling freaking t-shirts during lockdown.
Hey, I got mine.
Do you? Yeah, that's a real fan right there. That is fan behavior that I am here for.
It is so worn out. Like it is not warm anymore because I've worn it so many times. So we got to come buy more.
I was going to say, let me know what size you need. I like don't have a ton left, but I'm like considering doing another round because I haven't made any in so long.
Spooky season coming up. Well, it is spooky season.
I know. And I updated the logo and everything. I'm like,
I get so many compliments wherever. And I'm like, wait, it's my friend. Look, go. This is their website. And here's where you are. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
A psychic told me a strange story about my logo, actually.
Ooh, let's go there.
And it was strange because multiple people have like commented specifically on my logo throughout the years, which is something that like I made myself back in the day when I started 6 years ago. That's like when I started doing lashes for real.
Mm-hmm.
I technically started in my basement like 7 years ago. I did that for like 6 months. And then I was like, okay, we're going to do this for real. Got a studio, did that. But this is actually one of my clients' psychics. She saw the logo and she was like, what is the deal with that? And she was like, oh, it's my friend. she does lashes, she does tarot now. And she was like, that logo, this person, I guess me, like many lives ago, I had a coven that had a secret symbol. And apparently my logo today that's why some people are specifically drawn to it, because their past lives, they were part of my secret coven. And like, it's a secret symbol.
Yes.
And I was like, I don't know anything about that, but I am so here for it all. So if you've ever seen my logo and felt connected, we were probably witches in a past life together.
Yes. It was, I'm sure you've seen this meme, but it was like, I aspire to be the type of person that would have been burned at the stake years ago. That's how I live my everyday life. I'm like, yes.
100%. Yeah. If the Catholic Church wouldn't have been frightened, I don't want it. If a Victorian boy wouldn't be put into a coma thinking about it, I can't take it.
I'm out. I'm done. Right. Exactly. A Victorian boy in a coma. Oh my God. That was great. That way you're just full of these analogies today. I'm here for it.
Stop.
I'm going to make you include in the show notes like some of the looks you've done, and we have your link to your website, but please go check out Brandi's look and work, because you are just so freaking talented. And I think you should do some interior design as well.
Thank you.
Because that green you picked is my favorite color, and everything you've done for your studio is like, wow, that is vibes. So
thank you.
Might have some interior decorating in you too, because you're really good at it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I know you just got into tarot readings last 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
You and I have vibed over both being really into energy work and tarot and all, but what made you kind of make the leap and decide to do tarot readings?
So I had been curious about tarot and using it, I don't want to say for fun, because that I feel like sounds disrespectful, but like for like years. I had a couple friends who they were like, oh, like, have you ever done this? It was almost like Ouija board energy when it was first brought to me, of like, ooh, this like spooky thing. Let's play with it when we drink wine on the deck. Like, so it was like kind of just for chill and fun. And then during, again, this pandemic, she just keeps coming back around this conversation.
Have to, right?
I think everyone can agree a lot of things came from that. And I kind of just realized that there was this whole other part of me that I had been like kind of ignoring and like telling to for a very long time. And I really do think that it goes all the way back to like my inner child. Like, she was so ready to like be weird and mystical and magic and just like do whatever she wanted. And like, I'm mixing mud and rocks and I'm selling it to kids in the neighborhood and being like, put it under your bed. You never know. Like, just like weird stuff. Like, I was just so down for that. And at some point I like was trying so hard to like not be put in a box that I was like, I can't, it's too much pressure. And I snapped and I became like everybody else. But during the pandemic, I was like, okay, this side of you is like screaming, and you finally have time to kind of figure out what that is. Like, you're literally sitting around in your house, read a book, like order something on the internet, watch a video. I don't know. And that's when I was like, okay, like I'm going to try to take this as seriously as possible. I would like start reading for friends, and I like randomly was like, okay, like as one of my Christmas gifts for my clients, just to make me less nervous, I'm going to offer a free 10-minute tarot reading, because I always let them choose every year. I'm like, do you want a discount? Do you need a refill on your like lash care kit? And now I'm like, or do you want a 10-minute reading for free? Just so I could get more practice with people who I'm kind of comfortable with. And it just kind of went from there. And people were like, I think you might actually know what you're doing, even though you think you don't. And I was like, okay, like I'm still very nervous.
Imposter syndrome.
The most imposter syndrome of all time, especially because that's such a far cry from where I came from in so many different regards, like very like Roman Catholic family. So like that's spooky. Like I'm doing like pretty girl beauty industry stuff. I'm like, how am I supposed to just be like, you haven't heard from me in 3 months after selling you a t-shirt. Like, now I'm a spooky woman. Like, I don't know. It seems abrupt.
I'm a spooky. You've always been a spooky woman. Come on.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, so I started taking classes. I was like, what's the worst thing that happens? You go to a class and you're like, oh, I learned something.
Ooh, it is.
So weird. Yeah, and I felt very connected to it. My instructor, who I'm good friends with, shout out to Janice. I don't know if you'd be listening to this for any reason, but if you are, thanks, Janice, you're a queen. She was just like very supportive and was like, look, I know you came here. You have a whole other career. But what if you just did it? Hear me out. She's like, one thing about me is I'm going to tell you if I think you should actually do this. So I did. I was like, I'm just going to put it out there, see what happens. Again, what's the worst thing that happens? I do 2 readings and I take it off my website and go back to doing it for fun. Like,
right.
No one's going to come and arrest me. Like, nothing's going to happen.
No.
I also think that after, I guess we're going back a little bit to come forward, I like had a storefront for a little bit after COVID and like finishing up my lease there, closed it down, went back to doing my own thing. And I think that after I did that and kind of was like, this might look weird and bad to other people, I was kind of like, who cares? And like ever since that, it doesn't matter how it comes across or how it looks or how people think that you might be doing. Like, especially like they're driving by my business. It's not there anymore. They're like, oh, she must have failed. And it's like, none of that matters because I know what I'm doing and it's going great and cool. And I'm having a good time again. And I enjoy being able to connect with people other than just like, you look super pretty, which of course is like cool. And I'm very connected to my lash clients. Again, if any of you are listening for any reason, you guys know we spend more time than sometimes we spend with our family. You know, they're laying there with their eyes closed. It's very vulnerable. But like, there's something about someone looking for like guidance or answers or just something and being able to kind of like refer to whoever is up there helping them out and like help them work through that. It's a connection that you can't explain unless you've like done it before or had it done before.
Well, and I love this because in college, I remember I took a world religions class, which was wildly fascinating. And he was a great teacher and kind of like built from like all religions. It was so cool. It was like talking about like some type of ritual or like being more in tune, whether it's like with your ancestors or previous lives and everything. And that was like the one reoccurring theme of everything, like even in Catholicism of praying to different saints or things. But I love tarot readings. And I feel like that's like the one area that's kind of universal. Like it works for whatever your beliefs are or anything you do. Very inclusive, very great. And
totally.
I remember because I bought a tarot deck and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. Like it was a Nightmare Before Christmas one and I was reading how to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't, this is sacred. Like I can't do this. I don't know what I'm doing. So I totally feel where you're coming from. But I was so excited when you're doing them because it is something different. It's just like small little guidance. And why not when you're already feeling like a bad bitch, get a tarot reading too, right?
Dude, totally. Absolutely. Also, if you're someone who like has bought a tarot deck or like you're curious about getting one and you're like, I just don't know, it seems like it's a thing, just do it. It can be fun. Like you can take it as seriously or like as chill as you want. And you can really do it however feels right to you. That's why I put like in my little intro that I do these like intuitively guided sessions because it is so different for every single person. I never know what's going to come up. Sometimes I get like, you know, extra info. Obviously, like the cards can only tell you so much. And people are like, that stuff can't be real because it's general. Everything is a generalization. Reals aren't, or like, that's not real. Readings can't be real. And it's like, okay, but hear me out. If the specific generalization that I'm bringing to the table connects with you, is it real or not? Because there's 78 generalizations in the deck.
Oh, I didn't realize there's
like,
that many. Whew.
Yeah, dog. That's why I'm like, listen here. Like, sure, can I pull something out and be like, it looks like a change is coming in your life and something monetary, da-da-da-da-da. And then I'm like pulling another card and I'm like, oh, it's a woman who's in control of your money. And you're like, that's really general. But then you're also like, I am going through a divorce and we just got the child support readjusted. I'm like,
did you?
Get out of my face. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Help me help you.
Yes. Like tarot should just be whatever you want it to be. And if you want to like pull out your Nightmare Before Christmas deck and you still have to like look at the book to figure it out, go for it. If you want to like literally look at a card and see what jumps out to you and you feel something from it, then it's probably something that you needed to hear. You know, like these guides that we have, whether that's like Jesus for you, whether you have people who've passed on, whether you are going to have children one day and your future children's souls are up there guiding you. Like your pet might want to be like, what's up? Like, who knows? But like, they're going to try to communicate with you however they can. And that's the way that I like to say that I read tarot is the people who help us try to send us signs all the time, but we don't speak the same language. And if there's not somebody there to translate, or if you're not open, we can't get those messages. So I think I'm more of like a translator than like I'm a psychic. I can see the future. Like I'm telling you everything that's coming. Like that's not really the vibe. It's more like the people who are helping you out have to talk to you and I'm going to help them talk to you. That's the best way to explain it, at least for me. It's just, it comes from within.
I always say when people say like, oh, certain signs, or if someone's passed and you're like, oh, a blue jay is a sign, or
sure,
if this random thing has happened or whatever that may be, I'm like, that's just because I also come from a very Christian family and they're like, you like all these weird things. And I'm like, okay, but your sign of the butterfly for our deceased family member, like, what do you think that is?
Totally.
It is interesting. And I like how different people, like for me, 111 is my thing. Like if I stop seeing it, there's a reason or something's not right, something's off. So and I feel like most people have like their own little like things, whether it's a song on the radio or whoever, but
absolutely. I totally believe that you can establish a language with your people. I talk about it in like almost every reading I do, where like if you are someone who looks for guidance or like really isn't sure, and especially if you're like someone who gets in thought spirals and you really need to get out of them, like I'm like, I'm looking at you, not looking at you. Looking at you.
Oh, called out. Hate this podcast.
I hate this. She closes the laptop. This is never being published. John, burn it.
Burn it.
Burn it. I don't even remember what I was saying.
This is how we are.
Oh, yes. You can create your own language. Mm-hmm. So like if you are like, I need you to let me know that I'm in the right spot, show me this. So you having that like 111, and if you stop seeing it, you're like you kind of created that connection with your people of like, hey, if I stop seeing this, I know something's up. So keep showing it unless something's up. Like you can really assign whatever you want, and it can be outlandish as all heck. You can be like, I want to see a giraffe, which I stole that from a book from this medium. Her name's Laura Lynn Johnson. It's called Signs. I was talking to a client in a reading and I was like, yeah, like this person chose a giraffe, and because it's so obscure, like where are you ever going to see one? And she was feeling kind of weird about her reading after it. So she chose the giraffe because she was like, I'm in the middle of Michigan. Where am I going to see a
giraffe?
No. And she's like leaving after her reading to like go see her niece and nephew or whatever. And they end up going to Great Lakes Crossing to go to Legoland to hang out. But while she's on her way there, she's like asking her people like, hey, that reading was kind of a lot. We got into a lot of stuff. Like if this is for real and if it's true, I need you to show me that giraffe because I'm having really mixed feelings. She pulls up to Great Lakes Crossing. Any of you Michigan people know where this is going? And right outside of Legoland, there's like a 10-foot giraffe made out of Legos.
Like the giraffe is there.
You're like, ah! Everybody in their car is like, no way in the world. Yeah. So like, really pick something really weird if you super don't believe in it. But I don't know. I just think that there's more out there and we have a lot more that we can learn and understand, you know?
Oh, there's so much. Yes, absolutely. Now, I want to give an ode to you and how you work with clients because I don't feel like you're going to do it justice for yourself. So
oh my God.
I just want to take some time because the difference in how you work with people where like, yes, there's a bunch of tarot readers, there's a bunch of humans in makeup, like there's a bunch. And same with me. I mean, career services, of course, everyone claims to know what they're talking about. But the difference with you of I mean, I think when I came in and did my lashes, it had been years since I had seen you. I mean, probably since high school. So we're talking a long time. And it's just like, we ran in different friend groups and all, but you create this space for people to be comfortable. Are you comfortable? Are you this? I want you to feel confident doing this when I'm not there holding your hand, and just how to do things, have good conversation. And you're just so open and honest about everything you do. And like, you really are meant to do this. And I'm just so glad you found your passion, because it's clear, and it has not been easy. I mean,
yeah,
the fact that you did this during a pandemic and you have kept this business alive when you are literally forced to shut down. I mean,
yeah,
wild. But if any of you are even just like, oh, I'm not a big makeup girly, but I'd love to get it done, or I'd love to do eyelashes or tarot readings, if you've been kind of interested in it. I mean, I am not one that's a girly girl, but I like a good makeup, good lashes. But
yes,
Brandi's the shit. Just don't go anywhere else, because I cannot say enough good things about you. You don't make people feel bad too. I hate, like, sometimes you go in certain stores and, I'm sure that's a tangent you could go on to.
I do. Again, we're not going to do that today. We're keeping the vibes up.
Vibes are up today. We're all
today.
positive.
We're so good.
So happy.
You have to make like a comfy environment. There's no other way. Again, like, you're touching people's faces, or if I'm doing tarot, I'm like talking about such personal stuff. Like, it's very serious. And I think that working with so many different types of people throughout my career has really helped with that, and being open to like weird opportunities that like you might not think about. Like, I did production makeup for a really long time, but before I like started any of this, like my first production gig, I like did makeup for like a Depends commercial. Like, I know
you should have led with that.
I know. Well, I was like, we'll get into it. Like, I was like, the intro can be cute and fun, because the intro could be the whole podcast. There's like so much weird stuff.
Oh, because
like,
you've done, so much, right?
So much. We got Depends. We have like, I did Nick Offerman's makeup once. Like, very random things. I know. That is, again.
Oh my gosh, is he great?
He was incredible. No, he is. And like, that is like one of the, like, I feel like I never talk about it, because it's like, it was such like a personal, sweet little, like, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, my sister, we were talking about how I was coming on, and she was like, her and my mom were like, don't forget to talk about Nick Offerman. Like, that was really cool. And I'm like, okay, you guys, this is not a clout chasing podcast. Like, we're just like talking about stuff.
Clout. Let's go.
But my sister was like, she always harps on how the first thing he said to me was like, oh, like, so nice to meet you. Will you please make me look pretty? Like, and he was just like, so cool, so chill.
Oh my God, yes.
But it's like doing all these weird things that it's like, I don't know if this is going to work out. And like, this is kind of scary. Like, can you, I'm like this about to do Nick Offerman's makeup, but I'm like, you just got to do some scary shit sometimes, man. And like, it's going to make you grow, even if it does scare the shit out of you.
It does. Oh my gosh. What was it for?
There is a local dude. His name is Nick. I don't know if he still does it, but he had a YouTube channel called Nick Drinks. And he somehow convinced Mr. Offerman. He was here for a comedy tour. So he was at the Fillmore. And he was like, hey, huge fan. I have this like YouTube channel. Again, talk about shit that scares the shit out of you. Sorry, don't play this by your kids. But like, he just messaged his people. And they was like, hey, I have this YouTube channel. I talk about, like alcohol, but like I like to interview people. It was kind of like Hot Ones, I feel like was almost the vibe he was going for.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But like, let's talk about alcohol, but also your career. So he does his whole like, what is it, like scotch or whatever that he loves, whiskey. Sorry, people. I don't remember. I'm not a drinker anymore. I didn't store that. But yeah, so he just did like a quick 10-minute interview before his comedy show. And Nick had contacted me and was like, hey, this is going to sound nuts. I don't know if it's going to happen, but can you keep this date available? Like, we need somebody to be there to do his hair and makeup. And like, I trust you. And I was like, okay.
Sold. Right.
Whatever you say, I will be there. I will be so scared, but I will be there. So yeah, just like random stuff.
That is wild.
Just put yourself out there.
You really do. And that's what, I mean, okay, I am going to toot my own horn, toot here, but
you
it's
should.
just like you. Thank you.
Toot, toot,
but
toot.
Toad, let's go. But it's just like asking. I mean, people are like, wow, it's so impressive how you do all this. I'm like, you just freaking ask. Like, talk to the stranger next to you if you want to. I mean, it's just like, just ask. Like, do you want to come on this podcast or do you not? And it was so funny because you were on my literal list to reach out to. You've been on my list since I started this a year and a half ago, and I just haven't done it. And you reached out, you commented on something on Instagram, like, sign up for my podcast. Do you want to do it? Because I love you and your story. It's just like, you don't know unless you ask. Like, 100%. What's the scariest thing? They ghost you or just say no? You already were telling yourself no anyways.
100%. Again, it's not going to literally kill you. Like, getting freaked out a little bit, and I know my friends are going to roast me for this because, like, I am a scaredy cat girl. They're always like, always scared. That's her. But like, being scared won't kill you. I have survived every time I've been scared. Shocker. Like, shocking. Can't believe it. But you just got to do it sometimes.
Yes, you have to. Oh my gosh. Now, do you have anything you're really excited about over like the next few months, years?
So technically, I feel like I never know what's coming.
I don't think any of us do. I never do either.
If it comes to me, I'll take it. We'll see. I am working, which I have a whole group of gals that you're going to have to meet. I'm working a grand opening for the Zen Den Collective. It's like a new space in Ferndale.
I followed them.
Incredible. You have to, if you need a massage, go see my girl Bella. Massage by Isabella. She's incredible. But they just opened a new space where it's like a collective of like mostly women, if not all women. They have therapy upstairs, like actual like talk therapy. And then downstairs, 2 massage therapists and a esthetician. So yeah, they're doing a grand opening. I'm going to be doing tarot readings there on September 30th. So if you want to come meet a bunch of incredible women, learn about them and what they do, and maybe also get a reading, I will be there. It's spooky season.
It is.
Currently, I was going to say coming up, but let's be real. It's already begun.
August 1st starts.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I might do, I don't know, a special on tarot readings. We'll see. If like you have an event coming up or like your business does anything, hit me up. I love doing events. There's some other stuff coming up. I'll post about it. Angela's going to post where you can find me.
Yes. You'll follow her and see it.
You'll follow me, maybe, or you'll just find me. But I would love to just like read more tarot for everybody. I just want to help people. Just want to open things up, you know? Show them it's not scary. Show them there's nothing to be afraid of.
There really isn't. Exactly.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll keep doing makeup and lashes. I'm sure I will to some capacity for the rest of my days. Let's be real. But
yes,
maybe other things coming down the pipeline. Maybe we're secretly designing websites for people. Maybe we're secretly running social media pages. Who knows?
It's spooky.
It's spooky.
You have to do hair and makeup because at least until I get married and then you can retire.
Oh, yeah. I'll be there. Don't you worry. Someone else has to do your hair because let's be honest, I'm not really cut out for that, but I will certainly do your makeup any day.
Oh, makeup for sure.
Any day.
We'll find a hair person. It's fine. Thank you. As we wrap this up, besides the already great advice you've given, words of wisdom, what advice do you have for listeners?
I would say, and I feel like I've like sort of touched on this kind of as a theme throughout, but as someone who was like a weird kid or wanted to be different, I think for a long time, I was so dead set on like being the different one and not being put into like the box of being basic that I ended up keeping myself in a different box. And it's like from one prison to another type of vibe. And I feel like in all aspects, whether it's just life stuff, whether it's your career and like you want to do a bunch of different things, don't put yourself in a box. Whether it's, you know, like trying to be like everybody else or trying not to be like everybody else, just be free, be fluid. You can be in all the boxes. Just like try new things, be open. Just try to like push back against being scared, against shame, all that kind of stuff. Because like that stuff is always going to come up. It's human nature. We've kind of been conditioned to be this way, unfortunately. But we are all so powerful and we all have it within us if we really want to. You just have to like push past. Just like do the scary thing. Let yourself be free. It's way more fun. It's way more fun to be free. Stretch your arms, stretch your legs, get out of the box, man. You can do it.
That's such great advice. And the like getting out of the box. I mean, it's almost your own internal box you've made for yourself.
Yes.
Right? People will come to you.
100%.
You think it's weird. You're going to get some backlash, but who the hell cares?
Oh my God. Yeah. And that's the other thing. You're not for everyone and you don't want to be. I'm sure 900 people have said that on here, but like,
it's true.
Seriously, it's like for self-preservation in high school, sure, we've been there, we've done that, but like, we're mostly fully formed human adults at this point. Like, just
be done.
Be done.
Not for you.
It's not, if someone's not for you, great. It hurts harder to hold on to the rope with the white knuckles, man. Just let it go. You can't be for everybody.
You really can't. Brandi, you were so incredible. This was so much fun. I will book my appointment with you. I swear.
You will.
That I keep saying this.
Like I said, this was probably off the air still, but I'm going to, Destiny, if you hear this, I'm calling you. And I'm going to make you tell me when Angela's free and we're going to book her an appointment, or else her gift card is going to expire. Which, let's be honest, I'm not going to let that happen. But
no, bully me. I need to be bullied sometimes.
No. Also, I feel like people probably do this at the end of your podcast sometimes, but you are incredible. I know that your whole job is to like come on here and make us feel like really cool and special and fun and whatnot. But like, yeah, I don't know. Following you, reconnecting with you it's just like good for the soul.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I love that you do this podcast so that more people can hear from you. You're just really cool. And I hope that you just keep it going. Because honestly, Team Angela. Team Angela for president. She's killing it, you guys. Honestly. I bring you up so often because I hear a lot of people at my job who are like, I hate my career and I don't know what to do. And I'm like, so I actually know somebody.
Yes. Maybe just keep me in the separate room and be like, hey, I'm here.
Honestly, yeah, you should just rent the space next to me and you can work out of there. And then if I need you, I'll just like, we'll have a special secret knock.
Yes.
You can come up from a trap door and be like, I'm here to look at your resume.
Ooh, spooky. Career services asking for raises. Spooky.
It's so spooky. There's nothing scarier than asking for what you need and want and deserve as a human.
Oh, wild. Oh my gosh. You are the best. If anything, amazing. But for those of you listening, you want to follow Brandi, you want to get a tarot reading, see all the badass things she has going on, head to the show notes and tune in again next week for another episode of That's Business.
If you're looking for a career change and you're not sure where to start, the Resume Rescue can help. Sure, there's no such thing as the perfect fit for everyone, but here at the Resume Rescue, we're on a mission to find the perfect solution for you. Whether it's changing careers, updating a resume, learning LinkedIn, or practicing interviewing, we have you covered. Find us online at theresumerescue.com and find all of our contact info in our show notes.